Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. My name is the Militant Negro and this is my YouTube network. Top stories for today, December 21st, 2016. Let's start off with story number 1 from the Washington Post. Obama bans oil drilling leases in parts of Arctic Atlantic. President Obama on Tuesday withdrew large parts of the Arctic and Atlantic Oceans from future oil and gas drilling leases, using a little-known 1953 law. The announcement came as Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau took similar action to protect a huge part of his nation's Arctic waters from drilling. These actions, and Canada's parallel actions, protect a sensitive and unique ecosystem that is unlike any other region on Earth, the White House said. White House officials said that this move cannot be reversed. President-elect Donald Trump takes office in January, but a lawyer who served under President Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush disagreed. Basically, I say power to withdraw entails the power to unwithdraw, said David Reicherman, an attorney for the Baker and Hostetler law firm. So I guess this Obama action will be disputed in the near future. Story number 2 comes from the New York Times and BBC News. Germany releases a man detained after a truck attack and hunts for a new suspect. German authorities on Tuesday released a 23-year-old Pakistani asylum seeker who had been detained for questioning after a tractor-trailer plowed through a crowd at a Berlin Christmas market and killed 12 people. The Islamic State claimed responsibility for the attack. Investigators said they had grown more uncertain that the young man who was stopped after he ran from the area of the attack was the driver of the truck. He denied any involvement. Of course, far-right politicians, noting his refugee status, blamed the attack on Chancellor Angela Merkel's decision to accept nearly 1 million refugees from the Middle East and Africa, which, of course, is racial profiling and a form of racism. Let's move on to story number 3, which comes from Reuters. Clinton supporters slam the FBI over newly unsealed email search warrant documents. Hillary Clinton's allies harshly criticized the FBI on Tuesday after the unsealing of search warrants that revealed scrutiny of her private email system days before the November 8th presidential election. FBI Director James Comey informed Congress in an October 28th letter about newly discovered emails possibly pertinent to the investigation of the server Clinton used when she was Secretary of State. This newly unsealed affidavit says there is probable cause to believe Clinton emails were on a laptop later reported to belong to former Congressman Anthony Weiner. How in the hell does Anthony Weiner have anything to do with Clinton's email fuck-up? Story number 4 comes from the Associated Press. Turkey says the Russian ambassador's assassin had help. He did not act alone. Turkish authorities said Tuesday that the gunman who fatally shot Russia's ambassador in Turkey, Andrei Karlov, in an Ankara art gallery, did not act alone. The killing, as fully professional, not a one-man action, is what one official said. The gunman, who was killed by security forces, shouted slogans about the embattled Syrian city of Aleppo. I don't understand how the Turkish security forces would be hanging out at a Turkish art gallery event on the off chance that there would be trouble That is very suspicious to me. Still, I don't get that one bit. Story number 5 comes from the Detroit News. 4 more Flint officials have been charged over the water contamination in the city of Flint, Michigan. 4 former Flint, Michigan officials were charged Tuesday in connection with the city's long-running water crisis. The defendants, 2 ex-emergency managers and 2 former public works employees, have been targeted by investigators for alleged misconduct, along with neglect of duty. A special agent with the Attorney General's office said one of the emergency managers, Darnell Early, knew the city's water plant was not prepared to produce water. Nevertheless, he allowed it to be provided to the public. 13 people have now been charged in the case, in which the city manager switched to a cheaper but corrosive water source, which resulted in the lead contamination. Still no word on the governor being charged. Governor Snyder, scot-free, he walked away. Story number 6 comes from the Associated Press. Trump University settlement, papers filed in court. Lawyers for President-elect Donald Trump and former students of Trump University have filed their fraud settlement agreement in a San Diego court. The documents filed late Monday spell out the deal the two sides reached a month ago. Trump has agreed to pay $25 million to settle 2 class action lawsuits in which students of the now defunct school claim that Trump defrauded them. If the judge approves the deal next year, about 7,000 students will be eligible for partial refunds of up to $35,000 a year they paid to attend seminars where they expected to learn Trump's real estate secrets. Of course, Donald Trump has admitted no wrongdoing under this agreement. Story number 7 comes from the Associated Press and the Washington Post. 26 people died in clashes between soldiers and protesters in the Congo. Security forces in the Congo killed 26 people on Tuesday in clashes with civilians protesting President Joseph Kabila's refusal to step down at the end of his term. Kabila's term ended Monday, but his coalition said the country lacked the resources to hold elections until 2018. It's Africa's nation's capital and has 12 million people. Why can't somebody set up a government to hold elections and take back the government from this president whose term has expired? That doesn't make any sense. Story number 8 comes from Reuters and NBC News. U.S. expands the list of Russian targets to be sanctioned. The Obama administration on Tuesday added 7 Russian businessmen, 8 companies, and 2 vessels to the list of entities targeted with sanctions over Russia's annexation of Crimea and its support of separatist rebels in the Ukraine. The measures came a month before President Obama leaves office. Now, President-elect Donald Trump has praised Russian President Vladimir Putin's leadership and has called for improving relations with Moscow. That doesn't sit well with Americans, but maybe it's time the USA stops making enemies and starts making friends worldwide. Story number 9 comes from Reuters and the Associated Press. Dozens die in an explosion at Mexico's firework market. 27 people were killed Tuesday in a chain reaction of explosions and fires at the San Pablito fireworks market near Mexico City. 70 other people were injured. The head of Mexico's emergency services told Reuters rescue workers are continuing to comb through the records overnight, so that death toll number could rise. 27 people death toll is pretty high. Video footage showed dozens of fireworks exploding in a thick plume of smoke over the market, which was well stocked with 300 tons of fireworks for Christmas and for New Year. Wow. Story number 10 comes from NPR and the Associated Press. The U.S. death sentence toll falls to a 40-year low. Death sentences in the U.S. fell to the lowest number in decades in 2016, according to a new report from the Death Penalty Information Center. Now, that's a pretty sad thing when you have to have a Death Penalty Information Center. 30 people were sentenced to death, down from 49 people in 2015. So only 30 people were sentenced to die in 2016. The number of 49 in 2015 dropped to 30 this year is the lowest number since the 70s, when capital punishment was halted. Then it was reinstated. In the peak year of 1996, 315 people were sentenced to death nationwide. Damn, that's a lot of people. There were 20 executions in 2016, down from 28 last year, and the fewest number since 1991. 3 contributing factors in the drop have been shortages of lethal injection drugs, legal challenges to the death penalty, and increasing reluctance of juries to back death sentences. Wow. I've always been against the death penalty because it's barbaric. Now I'm going to stop, people.